YouTube. Today on YTP Presents, I am going to be pulling away from my figure reviews to bring an update on an issue I find very disturbing. Um, I was on a website, which, by the way, I will put in the link below so that you may go to it. But I was on a website called Upcoming Horror Films, and I noticed in the remake section that they had like a whole bunch of different sections. One was for sequels, one was for prequels, one was for remakes, and yada yada yada. Anyway, and being that I'm somewhat of a horror fan, uh, I decided to go to this thing, and I noticed a very disturbing trend that has been happening lately. They want to remake a lot of old movies, and I mean, we've already seen a couple that have come out. You know, the remake of Halloween, the remake of Friday the 13th, uh, the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, and all have been, in my opinion, pretty much bombs, especially when a lot of people are going to these films expecting, at least in my opinion, the old films. You know, they're expecting, like, for the newer version to represent in a way. And these remakes are just taking the old ideas and throwing them out, and they're making these old horror movies and putting new twists to them. Uh, it's like, do we really want to feel sorry for Michael Myers? Do we really care that Freddy Krueger was a pedophile and a child murderer? I mean, just the fact that he was a child murderer was enough for me to say, hey, that's a bad guy. But now we want him to be a pedophile child murderer. You know, we're either like psychologically breaking them down, or we're like making them seem more evil than what they first were. And in my opinion, you can't make them any more evil. Just because you add a new element to something doesn't make it more evil. It just means that he's capable of even more things. Also, I find it disturbing that Hollywood has no clue on, obviously, because they're taking a lot of old 80s movies and trying to bring them back. For instance, everyone knows the old favorite, The Gremlins. They want to take it back and remake it into make Gremlins CGI. Now, didn't we learn from movies like Avatar, 300, that though CGI is cool and it may work for certain films, it's kind of like when you're mixing cartoons and films and live action. film. You don't want to overpower one over the other. And if you use too much CGI, you're just gonna kill the movie. You know, and I believe that making Gremlins into CGI, you're going to kill that movie. You're virtually just going to kill it. Because animatronics back in the 80s was as high tech as they could get at that point in time. So they were already pushing the bounds. And now all of a sudden you're saying, well, we're not just okay with just pushing the bounds. We want to push them even further. Okay, well, pushing the bounds, going outside the boundaries in the beginning is like rebelling. Going outside those boundaries is basically the equivalent of a child walking down the toy aisle of a store and throwing a temper tantrum. Uh, it just doesn't work. This has been my take on the whole remake situations. I hope you enjoy my films and my rants. I will be getting back to more figures. Please rate, subscribe, do whatever. I appreciate all of you that write to me, so, and I will try my best to write back to each and every one of you. Okay? I can't promise that I will, but I will try. Thank you and goodbye.